I have it on here.
We are live with
Okay.
the Floor Lords and Cindy Diggs.
Yes, sir.
2024
Yes, sir.
honorees, Berkeley Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Thank you.
First of all, congratulate you all. Thank you. Congratulations for all that you have done.
Thank you.
We want to go around and have you just introduce yourselves to the folks who are watching, and then also introduce the other honorees who aren't here. So we can go around. We'll start with you, Madame,
Yes.
the mother of hip hop. Come on now.
So I'm Cindy Diggs, otherwise known as Mother Hip Hop, and I've been sitting at this hip hop table as a fan since I was a teenager in 1979, and then later on working in the music industry, and then of course through the culture, starting around 1995.
What's going on? My name is the Mighty Megatron, Floor Lord representative. Been popping since 1977. Been with the Floor Lords ever since 1980. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. The name is Dash Boogie. I represent Floor Lords, one of the soldiers. Started dancing in 81. I'm from Jamaica Plain, Eggleston area. Lino Linsky was the current president at that era, and he recruited me into the crew in 1984. Me and my brother and my other three best friends, we used to be another group called Ground Master Crew, and he morphed us into the Floor Lords. And just been a Floor Lord soldier ever since. Stopped doing shows in the 2000s and just kept it on the advisory board.
Amazing. All right. My name is Mad Mike. I am the founder of the Floor Lords, and it is a pleasure to be here with you guys at Berkeley. And thank you for this nomination.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is probably the epitome of our whole legacy. It's an honor to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
What's up? I'm El Nino. I'm current president of the Flow Lords.
Yes, sir.
Started breaking in 94, 95. Still currently breaking. My uncle Lino and pretty much all these guys are my uncles, kind of helped teach me, bring me up in the culture of hip hop. Tried pretty much every element of hip hop, but breaking is what I love the most. Love the challenge of it. So I stuck with it. Years later, now multi-world champion, inductee, hip hop inductee, and Team USA Olympian.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm Reggie, better known as Airflare. I've been breaking since 1980. I started off with a group called Smurfy 5. Smurfy 5. Okay. So back then, when I was with Smurfy 5, I was managed by Maurice Starr.
Okay.
And I used to compete with New Edition back then.
Okay.
Later on during the time, dancing, my skills started to develop, started to improve. And I met these guys right here back in about 1981, 1982. Okay. I joined the group in around 81, 82. I was recruited by Leno, but I was, mended and molded by these guys right here. And I think one of my better moments to me, the most iconic moment for me was a thing that we did called Rock Against Racism. It probably was like one of our best performances. If you listen to them, they'll probably tell you something different, but to me, that was probably one of our best performances. I stopped dancing somewhere between 86, 87, but I've always remained, seeing a member of the group. I've always been involved with family. So I've always been involved, seeing with the family. So right now, my current position and the things that I do is I try to, give mentorship, and I try to, book shows and keep the legacy continuously going. And it's definitely a great honor, to sit here right now, especially with the inductees and, City Diggs and you. It's a great honor. And it's a great honor to be with the staff as well. Man, thank you.
Take shout out as well.
Please.
Cisco.
Yep.
As well. He's another inductee, the other founder of the group. Lean Rock and Lino, who couldn't be here today. So shout out to them as well.
And then give a little bit, those three that you mentioned, talk about their timeline, talk about what they have contributed to the Floor Lords.
Well, you guys talk about Cisco.
All right, so Cisco. So
And Lino.
Yeah.
right, so
I can talk about Lean Rock.
how I always explain it to folks, Cisco was the motivation and the elder of the crew.
Okay.
Cisco's dead center in the picture here and on my shirt here. So Cisco's the motivator. I was the visionary that received the vision to form the crew. Dave Corella, we also have to give a shout out to Disco Dave
Disco Day.
Corella. He was the third member that made us an official crew.
Yeah.
And I always say Lino has been the glue the whole time. So, so Cisco is one of the original co-founders as well as Lino.
Awesome. Yeah.
Very awesome.
And Lean Rock. And then Lean Rock, he came in pretty much, we came in together around the same time, like 94, 95. Our story is pretty similar, you know, just watching these guys dancing in my grandma's living room. And, you know, falling in love with it, you know, super young. So we both started 94, 95.
How old were you?
I was 5. You're like 5 years
It's
old.
amazing.
You know, and then pretty much at that time was the time where, like, at least for me and for Lean's mom, they started like allowing us to come to practice and like learn the basics. And, you know, because before that we were just rolling around the ground. So we finally, you know, around that time was when we actually started learning the structure of everything. And then me and Lean, you know, in breaking, you always kind of like attach yourself to a partner. Like everybody kind of naturally picks a partner. So Lean Rock was my partner. We grew up together breaking, you know, battling together. That was always my partner. And then he started to get really into music. So I kept going with the breaking. He actually went more to the DJing. Right. And then we both kind of like, he became just like world famous DJ. DJing at, so he went from B-boy to DJ. I kept B-boying. But it was crazy how it worked out because we both kind of blew up at the same time. And then he moved to LA, and then there just became times where we didn't even know that we'd be like at the same events. So like, I'd fly to like Europe, and like, I'm competing on stage like my cousin's DJ. So it was crazy, but
Life's journey.
But yeah, it was really dope to still be, you know, to be able to travel with him and experience all these different events around the world.
That's
with
beautiful.
him
And continue to
spinning
be
the
a floor.
music.
And that, I mean, what I'm sensing, once a floor lord, always a floor lord.
Absolutely.
You know, that's
You
what I'm
took the
sensing.
words out of my mouth.
That's our motto.
That's our motto.
There it is.
I feel it. I feel it. Take me back to the 80s, man. What was going on here in Boston in the 80s that created the need for you all to create, you know, this, what I would call an intervention?
I would be honest with you. When Rusty was spinning at a lot of these different jams that we used to go
That's
to,
Rusty the Toe Jammer, right?
Absolutely.
DJ Pendleton.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Listen,
I know you're talking
one
about
of Boston's greatest,
Absolutely.
hands down.
Absolutely.
And when this brother used to always spin, everyone gravitated there because they wanted to see him really cut with his feet.
Yeah.
And he was really nasty at it. And a lot of people can't believe it to this day that he was really good at really toe jamming with his feet, you know. So I'm gonna tell you, it amazed me every time. And he ended up battling a lot of people too. He battled Wallace T from WRBB. He battled Skeeter from RBB at the kite festivals. These are all way before Floor Lord days. This is like 78, 79.
Okay.
So all this time is like solo stuff. This is how you made your name in the 80s. You battled people on a regular basis, whether you're on the mic battling, whether you're on the dance floor battling, or you're on the DJ tip battling, or if you was a graffiti artist, you battling too with your books. I forgot what it's called.
Black Book.
Black Book, right? So it was constantly battle back then before we even started Floor Lords. It was me traveling around to Cambridge or me going up. As soon as I walk outside my house, I got to battle somebody. Go up the street to Mother's Rest, I got to battle somebody. So it was constant. It was a constant thing, right? And to me, it was kind of like a calling. So I always felt as though this is what I'm going to end up doing. This is why I got to do it. and then a buddy of mine, his name was Super Steve. We gave props to Super Steve, man. And Super Steve used to always go, we call it rocking back then, but they call it hitting nowadays. But Super Steve used to always go rocking with Cisco and Matt. Right? And he said, "Hey man, I want to bring this fat dude with me in Detroit." He said, "I want to bring this fat dude." So he was like, so Cisco was like, "Okay, yeah, y'all meet me down Ashmont Station, man, and we'll go." So when I first got down there, you know, I met Matt, I met Cisco, and they were kind of like skeptical, like, I want to see what this dude got. So then we get to Harvard Square at the Coop.
Okay.
So we used to dance in front of that and start dancing off sucker MCs. And ever since then, they were like, "Yo, you gotta come with us every week. You gotta come down here. We gotta do this." And ever since then, we've been inseparable like brothers. We've been like nonstop. And because they had already started a crew,
Right.
MBT, Master Breaking Team. They had already created that. And that's like way before Flolo time. Like you said, it was him and Cisco. So then I'm coming around, but I was with MBT at the time. It wasn't Flolo yet until they created with Dave Corella, which made that crew, Essence. But I'll go back a little bit and say this. Before that, the battle aspect became fierce enough so that they wanted to recruit and put together kind of like a super team.
Okay.
And I was one of them to jump in. And then next thing you know, Lino's in there. Now, I'd already known Lino and his brother Nas from Poppin' with New York Puppeteers. So exactly, my group used to have to battle his crew. And my crew was nowhere better than their crew. I was like, me and Snow were like the best two out of our crew going against them guys. So that's how I already knew Lino, how I already knew a lot of the New York Puppeteers and the Poppers in that aspect. But then when I seen, we all went down to Park Street and they recruited Lino, Nas, Dre. I was like looking at family already because I've already danced with these guys anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like an added addition for me.
Wow.
So now I'm like, okay, cool. I can vibe with Dre. I can vibe with Lino, but Lino wasn't popping no more. He was breaking. You know what I'm saying? Him and his brother Nas. So that made it like all the better for me because I'm cool with all of these guys. And once they started recruiting and putting the build together, I saw the super crew he's putting together that these guys will put together.
That's like kind of what that picture is.
Absolutely.
Right there. It's kind of like the
super crew.
Yo,
Just as me.
everyone, I'm gonna tell you something. Almost everyone in this picture except Watts and Berger was unbeatable in breaking or popping. Me and Dre was like the routine masters. Two different styles. Mine robotic. Him was more like pop locking style than Cali. And Six Pack's breaking, Lino's breaking, Mad's breaking, and Cisco's breaking, all completely different.
Okay.
Everyone was like had like a completely different style. His style was more like fist spins, turning to the side, original stuff. Six Pack's was like flares into spins and ups and downs. Lino's footwork was just like unbeatable back then. And Cisco, big dude doing windmills up to head and tracks and stuff. And I'm like, that's amazing to me. He's a big dude.
wow.
And yeah. So we were focused on building a super crew there. And there's still people right there that's not there, like Air Flare, Shallow, Dash. There's a lot of people that's not even right there yet. And Snow, yeah. Female Fresh. So when this picture was created, it was a lot of people that was missing, but at the same time, this gives you the glimpse of what we were focusing on and where we were heading. Right. That's why this picture is so iconic, more so than the other one that El Nino spoke about, because this is the prototype of what made us Flow Lords.
Man, talk about this picture because I know you have another way
Yes, he does.
of narrating
Yes, he
this
does.
photo.
Okay. Back to what Tron was saying, that this picture is the most iconic picture ever taken because it was really describing us then and now.
Okay.
This is still who we are. As you see, multiracial at the time, multicultural as well. That was kind of important because at that time in the 80s, you know, our city was still faced with some racial adversity. It was pretty bad, you know, pretty bad. And still, like I said, the vision that I received still kind of saw beyond that. For some reason, I just saw beyond what we were going through at the time. And I give the credit to God. I always give that credit to God. It's not me. He used me that day to see this vision. And so this picture, I kind of describe it as a passion fruit vine, which is the longest vine. and pun intended, passion fruit.
I got you,
Because we
brother.
were all passionate
Yeah.
too at that time. And so I'm on the far, depending on how you're looking at it, right. So I would be the seed, the root, and then it flourished to my left. Okay, so Burger came through Dave Corella, which and I forgot to mention, Disco Dave he made the difference. So I'm the visionary. Cisco is the motivation. I'm the visionary. Dave made the difference, and Lino's the glue. The reason why I say Dave made the difference, Dave was of Italian descent.
Yep.
He's a silent partner to this day, but still, Dave, wherever you are, you're still a flow boy.
Yep.
But Dave is where we got the name Flow Lords.
Okay.
So he's very important, although he's absentee, but he's still here in spirit with us.
Yep.
Okay, and alive and well. I may say that. And then of course Megatron, Cisco was the epicenter at the time. He was the president, the first president. And you see Lino is standing tall, so it makes a kind of horizontally, right? Yeah. And Dre and Watts, like I say, now Watts was ahead of the game with fashion. So I don't know if people can see the shoes that he's wearing.
Custom made.
He made those.
He made his own shoes.
Well, they're Puma, but he added his touch to them. I don't know if they can be seen.
He accessorized.
Yeah. Yes, but so kind of like
Ghostface.
he was a local.
The hip hop.
Yeah.
Like you see somebody drawing graffiti, and you see the big, you know, saying shoelaces.
Yeah.
That was the model right there, the beginning model. So his style, man, was dope.
So what he was like local Dapper Dan, if you will,
Yeah, of course.
if you will.
Yeah.
So he actually tried to present the shoe to Puma.
Okay.
They took the meeting, but then they shut it down.
Okay.
And then, as of course, years later, boom, the shoe appears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw it first.
Yeah.
All right. So shout out to Watts and then Dre. Now back up to Six Pack. Six Pack, I tell people he's in 3D. If you look at him, he's sticking out here in the front. But he was also the future, which was to be Lean Rock and El Nino.
Absolutely.
So
That's the torch.
I
pass.
always give them credit, and I love these gentlemen like my nephews, like it says, because they were the future. Six Pack was them, is them, and they are him.
That's beautiful.
Because they Six Pack and like them were the stars of the show.
Man,
They were always the stars.
let me ask y'all this,
Yes.
because as men of color, we get such a bad rap in this country. And what I've just experienced in the last 15 minutes is love, respect, admiration, family, right? I've heard commitment to one another, loyalty to the crew, right? All the things that we're often dispossessed of, y'all created that back then, right? And to me, like, y'all are phenomenal dancers, phenomenal hip hoppers, phenomenal b-boys and b-girls to the sisters in the group, but it all comes from here.
Right.
Right? everything that you're displaying and everything that you're sharing and expressing comes from a lived experience and a vision for possibility and a vision for future,
Right.
a vision for hope, a vision for togetherness, right?
Yeah.
It was always like love.
Right.
It was love before anything. We loved and respected each other's talent.
Yeah.
We loved and respected each other's acumen
Yeah.
towards the group and what they put into the group and what each other represented for the group. We also had a fondness for wanting to keep the legacy going. Now, this is the crazy part. We didn't know
Sure.
that we wanted it to keep going,
Sure.
but the love for it kept us going. So when Cisco passed the torch on to Lino, that he was passing it to the glue. Now Lino was paying attention to everything that these guys used to cultivate and show us as being professionals and things like that. How to make sure the group would prosper, how to make sure the group, made money. So when Lean understood all that and followed suit, when it was time for him to take the torch, he took it with pride and he took it with a sense of nobility. Like, this is what we're doing. I understand you guys have things and issues you guys are dealing with. I got it from here. That's the one thing I will say, and I'll say it forever. Yeah. Lino decided to put this on his back on his own.
Wow.
And it wasn't like he had to. Yeah. It was because the love that he had for this crew.
So back to the reason why I said passion fruit.
Yeah, I got you. I got it.
And now, extrovertly, right? Lino was the most vocal.
Yes.
The most vocal. We were all equally passionate, but Lino was always the most vocal.
Yeah.
And would fight you over.
Yes.
I mean, we weren't a gang, but we were.
I got you.
He was not letting anyone talk disrespectful about this crew ever.
And I always say that he was always the most vocally passionate. Yeah. So thank God he was the way he is.
Yeah.
It's much respect to Lino, man.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's like
Absolutely.
undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I knew him when we were teenagers, and sometimes it's like you get a glimpse of what your life is going to be early on, not realizing any of this. But as a kid in the 80s, I was on the circumference of you all.
Yeah.
Del Ave is a spot where a lot of the breakdancing happened, and Six Pack was always over there. And my brothers were part of the Playboy Poppers. And
my God.
I'm like, who the hell is this Six Pack? And my sister, we're in our 50s now, and she came to the induction, and she said, I want to see Six Pack.
Really?
And she knew him because she was a tomboy, so she knew him from back then. And me, I was, Latin school, Miss Prissy, and the cute girl, and no, they're rolling around on the floor. But the shows that were happening, because I had so much homework from going to Latin, I wasn't my outlet was Dance Factory and Spinoff.
Spinoff.
And then I was there the night that Run DMC came on their promotional.
Wow.
15 years later, I would have Jam Master Jay as our keynote speaker at Can We Talk to You?
That's amazing.
It's like you see these things, and when I was a kid, I was in the 8th grade, and I can remember this clearly, that I rented the hall and hired the DJ for my 8th grade graduation, and then that would be my life from the 90s on.
That's amazing.
Now talk about that, because when we get to the 90s, you were there. But you really did now, right? Mm-hmm. Because you see something and you saw a vision that you were able to intervene and help a lot of people out. Mm-hmm. What did you see? And for the folks who are watching the video, what did you do?
So, going back to what you were saying earlier about, the 80s being a really difficult time because, 77, 78, we were dealing with the buses.
Absolutely.
And I lived on the top of Mission Hill and was all Irish kids. And we dealt with racism right in your face on a regular basis. So, and it was only about 7 or 8 Black and Latino families on the hill. The rest were Irish.
Yep, absolutely.
And so I was always this Black power person, you know, belonging to the Black Students Association at Boston Latin and at BU. And so when it came time for me to be running nightclubs, I used to write a newsletter and send it out to people. And it was always a Black power message. Now, this is the most gang-filled club in Boston, but they were getting a message. They was coming to their house.
Yeah.
And, you know, to this day, one of my hip hop sons came, and he is somebody who was my problem child. Like, he should almost probably wouldn't have been here. And he sent me a message the day after, and he said, if it wasn't for you believing in me, because I didn't see it for myself, that's why I'm Mother Hip Hop. It has nothing to do with, you know, I know when this record came out and this and that. That was my way in. So what I saw, when I dealt with the adults in hip hop, was their fathers. They were the fathers and uncles of the kids that we would later have problems with in the 2000s. And everything that we did in the 2000s with Peace Boston, the Flow Lords were always there.
Yes.
They were in every one of our plays and, you know, all of the shows. You were like 10, part of the Hip Hop for Health campaign. And I remember teasing him saying, you're not a Flow Lord. And he's like, yes, I am. You know, and that boy could spin on his head. But, you know, and it was just being around Lino and seeing him open the doors for children.
Yeah.
You know, I live up the hill from the Hennigan, and I would go down to the practices and then just saw how strict he was. And this was before I was doing youth work. And just seeing that hip hop was the way into dealing with young people. But in the 90s, I had no idea that's what I was doing. You know, I had experience running nightclubs. So we opened a club. We realized that wasn't the answer. So I took away the alcohol from the venue that we dealt with. And a good friend of mine at the time was a radio DJ on RBB. And he was like, you know, you should really do a music conference. I'm like, what the hell is a music conference? So I got on the plane, and I told this story when we did the other interview. Went to How Can I Be Down, and came back 2 months later and started Can We Talk to You? And I brought Wendy Day back and other people, and it was just like every door opened another door. I mean, that's how I ended up in the Source, and people said, well, how come they always come and talk to you and ask you to? Because I'm going to include everybody. You know, it's not about Cindy and her people. You remember it's us making moves forever. You know, so that's the role that I played in being the person that would, even if you don't want to hear anything I had to say, you'd rather me punch you in the face than have to listen to me lecture. But, you know, there was a lot of people that just got in their own way.
Right.
You know, we would have to go to Bob the Chef's and put on our open mics because no one wanted us anywhere. You have to remember the 90s was, you know, gang central, and they were 21 plus, and they were in the clubs with you. And it was like, oh, okay, Cindy, they're over there about to fight. What am I going to do? But I went over there anyway, and, you know, would be squash and stuff. And it was just all of that. In the middle of it, they needed to realize that they needed each other.
Yeah.
You know, this same son that I'm talking about, we used to call him Il Grill because he was always grilling people. And so we would have the open mics at Bob the Chef's when Daryl Settles first bought it, and he needed to bring in an audience. So we would go there, and then afterwards we would go to Jessica's Loft. You have to keep in mind, there was only about 7 women that would be at the Middle East and all these other shows. And this saloon is all black at the Middle East, and like 300 dudes, and just always us. So after those open mics, we would go to Jessica's loft, and one time this son was there with a radio DJ. He's like, "Who the F is that?" And blah blah blah. Why is he in here? I said, "Well, he's a radio DJ, so you might want to go over there and talk to him because you have music that needs to be on the radio." And the tune changed, but it's like you always have somebody that has to intervene from those people being in their own way. So dudes went from hanging down Dudley with the selling drugs, carrying guns, to now in rehearsals.
Yeah.
And we passed out business card holders. And this was way before there was any shiny flyers or anything like that. And people were starting to get their business cards made. And later on, they're like, "I don't know how the hell you did this, Cindy," because these dudes were, I used to always say that we had the people that were on the fence, and RSO had the people that were already crossed over.
Yeah.
But even those guys used to come to stuff that we did, and it wasn't easy at all. So.
It's a deep honor. And first of all, thank you all for sharing of your lives. You know what I mean? Of your lives.
A lot of sacrifices.
Yeah. And that's why this honor is so important for me, as somebody who's not even from Boston. But when I first got to Boston and I was looking for, the community that would remind me of where I left from home years ago, folks was like, "Well, you got to go find Cindy Diggs. You got to go find Critical Breakdown. You go Critical Breakdown. And you got to go find the Floor Lords. You got to go find, Rusty the Toe." I mean, like the names that y'all are calling were all the names as I was going around trying to figure out like where people at, And so, here we are in 2024 and I get to find y'all again and be like, come on and get these medals, Come on, get your love for all the work that y'all have done.
But now you're stuck with us.
It's a deep honor.
Yes.
But the big point is that I can tell you how many people I have talked to over the years who have said that, Mother Hip Hop changed my life. The work that you did, that the Floor Lords actually gave me an opportunity to be respected.
Yeah.
The Floor Lords taught me how to present myself, how to be, you know what I mean? And oftentimes we go through life and we do this hard work, and it is hard work, and we never see the flowers. We never see the fruit of it, right? And we don't do it for that.
True.
We do it because it's a call, because we feel this is what we're doing. It's the love and passion. Yeah. But when we can, we got to give each other our dap. You know what I mean? Right. We got to get a respect here, because I can't even, and I don't even want to imagine what if y'all didn't do what y'all did. Wow. I don't even want to go there. Right. You know what I mean? Right. The countless number of human beings, right? We were with Dad, DJ Dad's one on the Zoom, and when he found out what we were doing, my man was blowing my phone up. I'm like, how'd you even find me? He was like, I gotta be there. I gotta be there. I gotta be there. Yep. I was like, cool. We'll come through. VCR. I gotta be there. I gotta be there. We'll come through. You know what I mean? And so I'm just grateful to you all. Talk to us a little bit about the future. Talk to us a little bit about the future. What's the future of the Floor Lords? What are we doing? What do you see as the future of hip hop in Boston?
So before I give this to El Nino, I want to kind of like segue into this, because this is going to transcend right to the future. Cindy mentioned that she had family members in the Playboy Poppers. Mm-hmm. Playboy Poppers, me, Shallow, and Snow used to battle them all the time at the Kite Festival. All the time, right? So it's kind of ironic that she was already engulfed in that way. Yeah. And you said family members?
My brothers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny that they were already battling Floor Lords at that time. And it's kind of funny that she's sitting with us today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See how it goes full
Full
circle,
circle.
right into the future, right there.
I love that, man. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
That was smooth.
You know what I mean?
I think for us, I mean, we're always building, right? So like you said, this work that we do, it's like we're not looking for acknowledgement.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I became president of the crew, which was 10 years ago now, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, that trips me out.
Yeah, it still trips me out. I can't believe like time flies. But you know, the first couple years is like figuring it out. You know, how do you even become a president of something like this, of a group like this? So it took a couple years of like figuring it out. And then I realized what I wanted to do was to try and do everything that Lino really wasn't able to do.
Okay.
Like, how do I, you know, succeed his legacy and what he left to me? And what he always constantly was doing was we were always operating our programming of youth empowerment either through the city or in someone else's building or with someone else's funding.
Yeah.
With the city's funding. So we ran programming and like the Hennigan, for example, which we never got paid for. That was just community. Like that was our practice spot. We just opened it to the public and we taught thousands
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
And that was until Lino realized like, yo, we should be getting paid. Right? So then we ran a program out of the Strand Theater, and then we did summer programs with the city. But then, you know, a new mayor would come in and funding would dry up or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I think we need our own spot. And that was where like the Flow Lord studio came about, where it's like, if we need our own space where it's just ours and we're not like relying on, you know, somebody else's building or something like that, we'll have our own place. So once that happened, I was like, okay, cool. We got our own spot and we're building. Now from there, I think, you know, really like my long-term goal is to start continuing what we're doing, but start building on who will be the next leader of the crew.
Okay.
Succession after me. Yeah, because who would that be, right? Right now, I'm not quite sure who that would be. So that's kind of like the long-term goal, you know. But other than that, it's also like expanding our programming, trying to get a second location, and just doing everything that we do, but bigger, at a bigger scale, bigger and better.
What do you see as the future for activism, for engagement, for all the things that we know you for?
Well, my role at the forefront of hip hop and putting together shows and bringing the masses together, that has kind of subsided.
Mm-hmm.
I came back around 2007, shortly after the youth epidemic, violence epidemic started, and called together a lot of artists to put together the Peace in the Street CD. And we stuck around for probably another 5 years with the basketball tournament and the Hip Hop 911, both versions of the play. But then I went back to work in a place that made it very challenging for me to do this stuff on the side. So I'm still very active in the community, but I do it through my job, being the community and cultural engagement manager at a large hospital here in Boston. But I am producing 1 or 2 signature events a year.
Okay.
And so one of my best friends, Jazz Wise, she started the True Hip Hop Culture program in Codman Square and then moved to English High School. And she passed away 2 years ago. So another really good friend of mine, one of my other best friends, is the family liaison there at the school. And they have a food pantry. So my activism is in making sure that these families that are suffering from food insecurities have that. And so I gathered some other friends of mine, people that I haven't worked with before, to produce the Studio 54, which was the famous disco in New York. We did that Labor Day weekend. On March 1st, we will do one of our signature events, which is the Mardi Gras.
Okay.
So people will come to New Orleans in Boston. New Orleans is one of my favorite places, and we are going to recreate that inside of the bowling building.
Awesome.
It will probably bring back Studio 54 and Paradise Garage, if you all remember that in New York, in the summer.
Okay.
But a lot of my work now is fundraising because, you know, the funds dry up and things need to continue to happen. But our country is in such a dire, and before the elections, any of that stuff, we were still dealing with a lot of issues. So, you know, I'm helping to fundraise for those things and using my my reputation to be able to get some of those things done. I'm very passionate about supporting the Black-owned businesses in Nubia Square in particular because, you know, we're watching gentrification happen right in front of our eyes. If you see, during the pandemic, everything shut down except for construction. And there's so many places in Nubia Square that will never come back. We're not going to see a lot of our Black-owned businesses there. There's probably only about 5 there now.
Wow.
And so, you know, this is a problem
It's
for
a
me.
huge problem.
So, you know, when everybody was home in 2020, we were outside and making sure Cliff, who was my right hand, and you remember he and Jessica,
Okay.
right and left hands, we made sure that people were coming down there, but people are just forgetting. And Amazon is so easy, but, you know, until these young people that we deal with can see a place that's owned by somebody that looks like them, they don't have anything to look forward to. And the same with us. I can go into Frugal Bookstore and have a conversation with Leonard and Clarissa about anything that's happening in the community. But I'm not going to be able to do that with these other businesses. And that's something that we don't pay attention to.
Right.
If it weren't for those businesses in that area, Playtime Barbershop, where we used to have our underground shows, meet and greets with Blase, and, you know, our practices for Can We Talk to You, the fashion shows, all of that stuff is because somebody that looked like us worked there.
That's right.
So, and hip hop has always been an underground, has always been connected to businesses. Those are the places that will sponsor us for different things. And all of that is going away and no one's really paying attention to it. So that's where my big mouth will be for the future.
We got work to do. We're gonna do it together. Y'all gotta talk about these shoes. Somebody gotta talk about these shoes because, you know, I grew up. You don't put no shoes on the table, so
Yeah.
so
On top of the box, on top of the
yeah, right on top.
Get you an acrylic box.
Right.
Y'all got these shoes
Up on
on
the
the table. They
pedestal.
must be significant. Talk to us about these shoes.
Okay. Nino.
Well, yeah, I mean, shout out to Saucony.
I'm gonna just turn.
They're a partner of Flow Lord. It's been a partner for like many years. Again, becoming president, it's hard to like succeed what Lino did because this is another like brainchild of Lino's, where he had a friend that worked at Saucony. They used to hook us up with gear for like shows. I mean, they still do, but this is like back then, like 2005, around there. So Lino would go to the headquarters and like just bug out on the computer with designs and, you know, have fun with it. And then, you know, one day, Lino told me, I believe his name was Gary. He doesn't want to work at Saucony anymore, but he said, yo, those are pretty fresh. Like maybe we could actually like might be able to do a shoe. So he pulled up different silhouettes that they had. You know, they had the jazz and different silhouettes, and then he picked this one, which is the Courageous, the Saucony Courageous, the name of the shoe. And then he kind of just messed around with colorways, and he put Flow Lords on the side. This actually on the original sneaker says Courageous. So this the only Courageous Saucony sneaker that you will see. I think it's the only time that they actually took Courageous off of the shoe and put our crew name on it.
Okay.
So you won't ever see anything. Every other shoe it'll say Courageous on there.
Okay.
And this was the, I believe, like second colorway that came out. First colorway was just black, red, and white. This is the black, red, white, and gray colorway. But we had like 4 or 5 different colorways that came out back then. There was a gray, red, and white, just black, red, and white. There was also a special edition of brown, light brown, tan, armory joint. There was a blue, red, and white. So there was quite a few colorways that came out back then. And this is kind of so in celebration of the Courageous colorway coming back, the silhouette coming back, because they discontinued it for many, many years. They finally brought it back this year, beginning of this year. So to celebrate it last summer, or this summer for our anniversary of that, they dropped like a friends and family pair of, this colorway with like kind of like the new bottom. So this is kind of like their new technology in the shoe. So still the same shoe, just with some updated tech on it. But yeah, this was Lino's doing, so
In the underground world of the dance scene nationwide, everyone loves those sneakers.
Yeah, this is like, there's only been like a few like breaking shoes. I mean, Nike for the Olympics, they dropped an official like breaking shoe, and then Rocksteady also had a shoe. But these are in the breaking community, everyone's favorite. So if you got a pair of these, like, you need to cherish it, because when we got them back, when we got the friends and family pair, I can't tell you how many messages I received.
They're back on the market. They try to buy them, but they're not on the market.
Yeah. From people all around the world that still talk about it. They still want them. I think so. These are like grails.
Yeah.
So I got, I back in 06, 07, around that time when everybody wanted these, and we were only hooking up like our homies.
Sure.
I was on traveling everywhere, just all over the world, battling, making a name for myself. So I dogged all of my pairs. And I didn't save. I didn't save one. So this time around, I was like, all right, I gotta be more smart.
Put one under the bed, man.
Keep a pair of ice. Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I want to do something, and we family. I'm gonna ask Lee, can you take a couple of still photos for us? And you can pose as however you want to, so we can have some still photos. Keep the cameras rolling. And then we're going to grab some more grub, and we're going to come back here and just continue to chop it up.
Absolutely.
While we eat.
I don't remember any of
You
that.
don't remember?
So y'all got to tell me this.
Yes.
'Cause everybody's New York, New York, New York, New York. And when we talk about like the elements of hip hop, most people don't understand that Boston had a phenomenal legacy.
Absolutely.
And you all have already mentioned that. But how do y'all are the OGs of B-boy and B-girl, and I'm gonna just call it OGs of B-boy, right? Y'all are from Boston, and you made a name for yourself nationally, rooted in Boston.
Yep.
But how do y'all respond to that when folks are just like, New York, LA?
I'll give a piece that's going to segue into something that Matt's going to explain.
Then I'll go through.
Yep.
Okay.
For starters, okay,
Miami.
we all know hip hop started in New York, where the legends of everything. I don't mention names, but people want to say who they are. They can do that. But we all know that it all started in New York City. Now, my thing is this: me, Matt, Lino's originally from New York anyway. But me, Matt, Lino, we used to travel all the time to go to New York back then. So like we would go to New York, pop in, pop out. Go to New York, go shopping, come in, come out. Go there, see people breaking, and be like, oh well, yeah, all right. Come back. So it was always a back and forth. And the reason why it was an easy back and forth was because his family gave us the opportunity to be able to travel pretty much for free. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And that was a beautiful thing. Yeah, the beautiful thing from your pops, man. And it gave us that. And when it gave us that opportunity, we had the opportunity to see things a lot of people didn't even get to see yet.
Yeah.
So we already had a heads up. Oh, that's what they're trying to come out with. Okay, we got something for that. So we're always ahead of the game. There was sometimes we go to New York just to visit people. We'd go to New York to go shopping. We'd go to New York sometimes like to come go down to Central Park or go down to different places and go to different clubs. What was the name of that club we went to one time? It was give me 1 second. Nah. It was a school. First we went to a school and they had a talent competition there.
Okay.
Then there was another one that we went to. I can't remember the name of the club right offhand right now, but we went there and that's where we saw a lot of people getting down, trying to battle and stuff like that. And that's where we like have no fear about battling anybody, right? Because we're battling like quintessential killers of b-boying.
And you're going head to head with
Yeah, for hours. I'm saying like this ain't like a 2 minute like 3, 2, 1. Your turns up. This is like he's battling like for 10 minutes by himself. Lean's battling for like 15 by himself. I'm popping against somebody for like 20 minutes by myself. So it's like this was a true proving ground of this is what battling really is.
Wow.
Like
Boot camp.
back home, we battled for our name. That right there, you're battling for like supremacy. Like, listen, I want to be known out here.
Yeah.
I want people to be like, yo, you should have seen this fat dude. I want people to like to remember that. You know what I'm saying? So that was always my play. So when we used to come back and be on the train, talking about what we did against people. See, we didn't have no camcorders. We didn't have no videotape. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have none of these things.
That's right.
If we could have had stuff like that back then to document it, y'all would be like, this it. Hey.
That was it. Yeah.
Now I see why y'all are who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because we were the type that the first one that gives up, you lost.
Yep.
And I'm talking like you run out of moves, you lost. You repeat a move, you lost.
Yeah.
That's ethical way of battling.
Yeah.
And along the way, cats don't battle like that no more.
Right.
But it's cool. It's cool because it's like a time frame-ish type thing.
Right.
But real battling is get over there.
Yeah.
Do not repeat nothing. You run out of moves, you're dead. Last thing too. As soon as you go like this, let me catch my breath. You're done.
That's crazy because and you're speaking about the 80s, right? Then like my era, we kind of had to do the same thing like again. Because we used to go to New York all the time.
Oh yeah.
In the 90s, like this mid 90s, and us being from Boston, and we had no shame about it. Like we would come in our Red Sox jerseys, not the ones that say Red Sox, one that says Boston.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yep.
And we would go to these events in New York, and they hated us at first, you know. But we this is before competitions was even a thing, like competition battles, because now that's like the biggest thing in breaking.
Right.
We would go to events and not even know that there was a competition. We would just go to Cypher.
Okay.
And we ended up having a couple rivalries. You know, in 2000, we battled Rocksteady. But really, there was another crew in New York in, mid 90s to the early 2000s. Right. No, it was Breaks Crew. And Breaks Crew, every time we seen these guys, we were battling. It was
heated,
all the time. And it's cool because we're all like friends now, but we gained our respect because of that. And people started to love us because we were always in New York, but we were always battling for our respect.
Right. So, to touch on what you said, how New York and LA would get all the credit. I'm gonna put you up on a Boston thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are very prideful people, okay?
Mhm.
Which in turn makes us a very tough audience. Okay, so in saying that, do we really care
What?
that New York gets the attention or Los Angeles or whomever gets the attention because we're so grounded in our pride, Boston pride, that it doesn't matter. You'll go, but you're going to recognize us, and that's the way of
And that
the mindset.
But a lot of wasn't there like a lot of jazz records coming out of Boston that
Oh, yeah.
a lot
It's
of
the same
hip hop, a lot of rap artists sampled.
Yeah.
So a lot of like samples came from Boston.
Yeah.
Boston was heavy on jazz.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I remind people when I travel that we bred people like Malcolm X,
Yep.
Farrakhan, New Edition, New Kids on the Block, right? The Wahlbergs, Donna Summer, Hope,
Gangsta, Google.
Guru,
Yeah.
right?
I actually, that was like one of my friends. My label.
Keith, you love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Keith. Yeah.
The Celtics, we're also the home of champions. I'll say that again. Right?
Allow me to throw this in there because this also happened in the 80s as well. I'm like an 80s connoisseur because I lived it, so I could talk about it like it was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Now, and he's going to attest to it because he was there with me. We didn't fear nobody. So we would go to New York and battle. We'd go to Cali and battle.
Right.
That's how come we have respect in Cali and in New York.
That's
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We go to Cali, right? We're going against people. Cali wasn't really known for breaking like that except for Orko and a couple of other cats that were really, really ferocious.
Ozrock.
Ozrock, yeah. All them guys, and Ozrock is really from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
He's really
He
from
just
Rhode Island.
moved there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, don't mess with me not with this. So my whole thing, my thing is we had no fear of going anywhere battling. So we're going out to battle breakers. We're going out to battle poppers. We're going out there and it doesn't matter. Again, thanks to his family,
Right.
we're able to travel kind of smoothly. You know what I mean? So it always gave us the opportunity to test our mettle, to test our Boston skill set.
Yeah.
That's what we try to, that's something that me and El Nino, we put into our students. We say, you got to test yourself. See where you're at. Let's go to this battle over here and see what's up. Let's go over here and see what you can do against this person. Let's go over here and see what you can do against someone who robots. Or he would say,
That's
let's
what
go.
the new generation right now is doing. So
Yeah.
our students are already like our new generation. They're already winning everything here.
Exactly, dude.
So
Crushing people. Dude.
yeah, like we like the past like 5-6 events is getting ridiculous.
It is.
And now I'm like,
Y'all gotta
yo, yeah, and I can't battle. Like they won't let me battle.
They won't even let them do that because
So
it's
my
unfair.
students, so now I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, that's fine. I won't battle. My students will battle and win. You know what I mean? but now, I mean, we went out to LA, and you know, we almost took out one of Japanese best, like one of Japan's best.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Cali, like freestyle session, like I have 3 freestyle session rings. I've won freestyle session 5 times, the one-on-one twice. So I got a lot of respect in LA because of that.
Yeah.
Because in the West Coast, because
Yeah.
of that, they love us out there. But now it's our students' turn. We pushed that
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we did it.
We did it.
Now
Next
it's like,
generation.
okay, y'all
Yeah.
got to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, we try to, another thing too, when it comes to a popping aspect, Shallow and I, we have a name, just Shallow and Tron, where we know that the battling aspect with these two together, good luck. So that's synonymous in New York
Yeah.
and that's synonymous in Cali.
Yeah.
But we don't have a big head where we're unbeatable. We have the understanding we're all equal.
Right.
So amongst all the OGs in Cali and the OGs here in New York, it's like from one OG to another. That's what's up. It's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
So then when Shallow and I created Slaughterhouse, it's a popping program, we put together 15 to 20 disciples that were killers.
Wow.
We had one female, Lady Beast. We had
A
Bugs, who's
Voltron.
a Jabberwocky right now. My man
Wow.
Voltron, who just got a Lifetime Achievement Award the other day
Wow.
for all his work and stuff that he's done. And that's a big honor for me because that's one of my disciples.
Yeah.
And then you got Shallows,
Catalyst.
Catalyst,
Onion.
Oh my Lord, Onion just unreal. Heat Rock, like all these guys were battling people from Boston. Then you have people coming from all over the world wanting to battle these people from Boston.
From Boston.
That's why when you said they could have the notoriety, but they come here for the Mecca. They came here to test their mettle.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
now another thing too, he put together a squad of cats that in breaking, I'm saying, they used to go out and smash people around all the time, right? Now here's the thing. People would come to Boston to test the mettle.
Yeah.
We also had home rivalry with Round Effects.
Okay.
So it's always someone trying to test your skill set, test where you're at. Let me see if I can beat them today. Let me see what I can do this day. I don't think it has anything to do with New York or California or anything like that. I think it has to do with if you're coming to Boston, put your dukes up.
Yeah.
If you're coming, if we're going to your state or your city or whatever, we're putting our dukes up. We're coming here to win.
Yeah.
Like he said,
Here's the
we're
thing,
prideful.
I don't know if it's like this with popping,
Mm-hmm.
but like with breaking, it probably is like this with popping too. But like at least in the Northeast, like every 5 years, the crown is being moved around.
Rotated.
And right now, New York don't really got it. Boston don't got it either. I think Philly right now,
Okay.
they're young bucks are dope. New York got some upcoming cats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for a while, Boston had the crown, and that was when me, Little D, Babel, but nobody could, not even cats in New York could touch us. Like
At
Boston
all.
was it. With the poppers too.
Yeah.
At that era, their
Yeah.
poppers, and then like Floor Lords, Ground Effects, with nobody wanted front. There used to be a jam called City versus City
Oh my God, in Chicago.
in Chicago that
Yeah.
we went and we put together a Boston like super team.
Oh my God.
We smashed everybody.
Oh my God.
Now, how do you
I'll never
look at
forget
it
that.
from
Yeah.
what's going on around the country? And let's go back to the 90s and maybe the 2000s in terms of activism, intervention, trying to get, rid of this youth violence, corruption and all that kind of stuff. How did you feel, or how did you feel that Boston kind of ranked in terms of what was going on nationally?
Well, I think the way that we handled it was by through hip hop and providing stages, and we continued that. I started a number of different groups through Peace Boston. So we had the Recording Artists for Peace, we had the Dancers for Peace. I was always with the slap bracelets. They were like you all. They won everything in the city and had to leave. And we had Stylists for Peace. We had all of these different things. And people were looking to us in a lot because we were born out of Louis D. Brown Peace System.
Right.
And they are the ones that are the leaders in this peace work. And so for me, it really started 2003 when one of the family members of one of our peer leaders was murdered. And none of us knew what to do. I'm in the room crying with the kids. And then a good friend of ours came and told us, about this Peace Institute. And I said, well, I've been an activist for, 20 years at that time. And I never heard of them. So then I hooked up with them and we created the Stop Peace t-shirt. The whole thing was through hip hop because it was at the time that Mayor Menino wanted the Stop Snitches shirt off the shelf. And I've worked with Antonio Ennis, Antonio Asabi.
Yep. Amazing.
And I created the concept of the Stop Peace shirt, replicating the Stop Snitches shirt.
Right.
So it's always been hip hop at a base of this this work and this activism, because I'm bringing the people to the table that were in the past or in the present were the perpetrators.
Yeah.
And now these folks are all wearing this purple T-shirt.
Yeah.
And so it was that, and we were recognized when I was teaching through the citizen schools. I would help them to get the Patriots used to have this Heart in the Huddle. They would give monies towards programming, and because I was teaching the kids how to be on the radio, all of this stuff was from my experience through hip hop, in doing the things that we knew how to do, but doing it for causes. And when I was working with you all with the campaign for health, it was addressing HIV. And then I got a bunch of the dudes from back in the day to do a song about HIV. And, that went through the Health Commission and, all of these things were just things that we took for granted that we were learning how to do, running around passing out the free CDs and, to get people to come to our shows. We translated that into the work.
Let me ask you all, and I want each of you to respond to this, because I know we got some quiet folks around here too. I want each of y'all to respond to this. And I want to take my time to ask the question so that you can, one, have time to process and think about it, but also to reflect. The question is this. This January 2025, there's about to be a change in the nation. And regardless of how anybody at this table voted, regardless of how we feel about politics, what we understand is that there is increased division and increased hatred in this country.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so I want you to reflect, but also project. What should we be doing here in Boston? Let the other cities figure out what they're going to do there. But here in Boston, what should we be doing so that the virus that is catching hold, and by virus, I mean the division and the hatred. I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about administrations. We don't need to do that. But the virus of division and hatred, and those two things often manifest in what we know as racism, prejudice, discrimination, and all the obias, right? Homophobia, transphobia, you can list them. But what should we be doing to help make this a better world for our young people?
I can go first if you really want me to. I mean,
I think they do.
okay. I'm gonna say it like this. Okay. Unification. Is one.
Yeah.
Unification, one, as a people. Unification as being able to utilize your brain and think of positivity.
Yeah.
Unification as a people, as a whole, as a country, if we sat down and focused upon the love that we have for each other before this election and before elections before. Let's go back to Obama administration when we were striving to have that brother in office.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that unification was coming forth and putting together right there, no one was worried about homophobia. Nobody was worried about transgenders or anything like that. Nobody was worried about that stuff. Everyone was focused upon themselves to make their family and themselves, put them in a positive perspective, right? Now, your family, his family, her family, my family, we can unify.
Yeah.
We can't make and I hate to say it this way, we can't make the racist people unified. We can't make the transgender haters or homophobes haters. We can't make them unified. But the only thing we can do as a people is remain positive within our own acumen. Now, if your family, her family, again, I say, all these different families, we could always sit down and have a huge meal like this.
Yeah.
We could do that. Yeah. And we could do it every single day and not have a problem with each other ever, because we have the understanding that we're on one level, positivity. I can leave today, go out to Cali and hang out with your family. And we're going to have a great time because of positivity and the family and the love right there. Same thing with her family, same thing with these brothers here, right? But if there is no love and positivity in your life, that is where we fall. We fall as a country because we have no positivity. We elected a person that is known for negativity, known for being able to put people amongst each other, known for hatred of women, known for racism, known for discord of amongst the people. Now, why would we do that? Why would we do that? Because we're afraid to have a black woman be a leader. That's why we're not ready mentally for anything. As long as we fear the fact that a woman could possibly be head of this country, because they always believe a man should be able to do it, that's when we always fall short, man. So the positivity is the only thing, that we can hold on to as a people. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has differences.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
Of course.
But those differences only go so far. Because if I had an argument with her today, I'll be hugging her tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or in another hour.
Yeah.
I have any negativity amongst my brothers here, we're going to squash this right here, right now, and continue with the positivity. So the main thing I'm trying to say here is, if we don't have positivity in ourselves or in our families or in our communities or anything like that, we're done.
Got it. Got it. Come on here, Flick. I think one of the main things that we need to develop, in this time, in this era, is leadership. I think we fell off with the leadership. We don't have many leaders anymore. We don't have people who value the old traditions. And I think that, us using technology, as a means of living has taken us away from the physical and the thoughtful aspect of living. So we rely on a lot of technology, which the youth, and we get into it about this with it, with some of that group, they don't have the energy like we did when we would practice for hours and hours on and on and on. They're great. They're far better than us. You know what I mean? But they don't display the energy and the commitment. And, I just believe that right now in this day era, we don't have the leaders. And because we didn't have leaders, right, we were short on people who we could look forward to give us, you know what I'm saying, a new path in life. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's one of the main things. And when he mentioned it earlier, just a minute ago, me and one of my relatives were talking, because I keep saying this all the time. It's like, I just wish that we could have that sense of family again, because during, my opinion, during the pandemic, we were always being taught separatism. It's all about me. It's all about me. So when I talk to people, the one thing I hear coming out of people's mouths is, I'm staying in my own lane. I'm staying out the way. You know what I mean? They've been taught, all these years now, to stay away and not come together. So I said this to my family member. I said, look, we got to start doing something. We got to start holding at least once a month where family comes together and hold a dinner. You know what I'm saying? So we can all know what's going on with each other, so we can all come together. Because if we keep allowing these people, and I'm talking about powers that be, and anybody who's destructive, we keep allowing them to separate us, right? Then we're going to diminish as a people. You know what I mean? So that's like one of my biggest things is the commitment in the leadership. You know,
I get it.
Yeah, I think they both nailed it on the head with that. I guess I would add on to that just a different perspective of, and this is kind of a different version of what Cindy was saying of like how she used hip hop as a vehicle to help curb the violence in Boston. You know, for us in the breaking scene right now, like our events are people of all age, all color, all religion, and this is currently right now. You could be gay, straight, transgender.
Yep.
It really doesn't matter at like our breaking competition events today.
I agree.
But I feel like we don't like locally. We need more of that here in Boston. Like you said, what can we do? It's sometimes hard to get like some of the youth from the inner city to come to these events.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like you got to kind of bring it to them. So I think bringing more like free events, even back in their day, which is like, we don't have this anymore. Like back in their day, they had talent shows. Like we don't even see talent shows like that no
There's
more.
not.
Like,
Talk about that.
There's no outlets, you know, for the kids
Yeah.
to go to and just,
Seriously.
let me just go dance, or let me, go to this basketball tournament. I know we have some basketball stuff going on, but it's like they need more of that, and it has to be free for them in order for us to unite. Because you said uniting, but it's hard when there's nothing to come together. You know what I mean?
There's no reason.
So I think we gotta like have more like youth engagement events that are free. And I agree with what he said, what you said, as far as more leaders and coming back together. It's even my family now, like we come together for Christmas and it's less and less and less people. Or Thanksgiving is like less and less people. And so I think like what he said, plus doing like events and stuff that brings people together.
I'm gonna slide back in for a millisecond.
I
Now,
was done anyways.
I talked to one of my brothers that I vibe with, and we come from that era of talent shows, summer things, going out to the parks, shows, dance factory. Like my thing is, why wouldn't anyone want to do a kite festival? Why wouldn't someone don't want to do a summer thing? Why? Because that was free from the mayor. That's free. It was a stage that drove around,
on the big bus.
go to the projects,
Yeah.
and anyone who wanted to sign up could go up there and sing, be a comedian, dance. Me and your uncles battle all the time in summer things all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
we got
guess
to
what the
see
prize
that
was? A Mayor Flynn T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I was happy.
Happy to
I
get
got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
That means I'm nice.
Yeah.
So that gives the youth something to want to shoot for, and it finds hidden talent.
It's true what Reggie said though too, is like if that stage came to any hood or whatever, thing is people are afraid of this.
But let me give
Cameras coming out, filming them.
Nowadays,
They don't want to. It's
Yeah.
not like in y'all day there was no cameras.
That's
So
right.
you- So nowadays they'd be like, oh, somebody's gonna put it on Facebook. I'm not gonna sign up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared now.
That's
People are
crazy.
scared
I
to
don't understand.
express themselves.
But I'm gonna be honest with
You
you.
know?
Let me tell you one more quick thing, right? So let me tell you exactly what I've been doing. As far as the leadership in community in water. So I come from a neighborhood in Grove Hall. Okay. Interville. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't, very well known for, treachery and all the crazy stuff. Right. Mhm. So some 20 years back, when all my friends were still incarcerated, sure. I put together a cookout.
Okay.
So every year, now it's been a 20-year tradition.
Oh wow.
So every year we threw a Father's Day cookout.
Okay.
Now it started off small. Now it's getting big, where it's almost like how the Kite Festival was, Jamaican Festival. It's big. And the thing that makes it a success is we put this thing together ourselves. We fund this for ourselves. We don't have no funding. We don't have no help. We come together every year and we put our money together and we buy food, we buy drinks, right? And we allow people to come and they eat for free. Now, the special part about this is we were the kids who took away from the neighborhood. We were the kids who were the bad boys. But we made a platform where kids from everywhere, all gangs, all neighborhoods can come in because we were the leader of this destruction, right? They feel safe when they come and they come hang out with us. So they can come and follow the lead of people who were once, you know what I'm saying, negative, and they can come and enjoy a peaceful moment. And I'm telling you like this for real, for the 20 years that we've done this, we haven't had a problem yet. And this is managed by us.
Wow.
And, you know, one point in time, we would have, you know, the mayor and the police department, they would want to come up and they would want to monitor us. And there was one point where they came and they said, look, you don't even have to come up there and do that. You know what I mean? You guys have a successful event, and they just allowed us to do it every year. Every year, you know, we shut down the King School, and we shut the whole street down, and everybody comes and enjoys themselves. I mean, I invited, you know, I had Tron there, I had, you know, Matt there, you know what I'm saying? I've invited them to, you know.
I think so, but that's
Cut it out. The point that I'm making is, you know, if you have leadership, right? And when I say leadership, I'm talking about people that can relate. You know what I'm saying? They can't relate to some guy coming from City Hall or somebody like that who's just trying to get a check. You know what I'm saying? You have to have somebody who's lived that with you, who've experienced with you, who you can follow, who you say, you know, at one point in time, I wanted to follow him because he was the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be like that. But now, you know, we've changed our way of, you know, our way of thinking, our way of life, and we can spread that to these youth. And that's what I mean by the leadership. You know what I mean? It's powerful, man. It's powerful. And, you know, it's something that I take pride in every year. You know, every year, this is like one of the most important things because it's my baby. I started 20 years, you know what I mean? In 2 years, I love it, man. I love it. And it circulates all through the city. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you for that too. What's next?
I'm
the shyest one here.
Come on.
The shyest one here. I want to go last.
Yep. Okay.
All right. To the main question of the changes upcoming and politics involved and race and all this and all that. I remember growing up in Eggleston, I'm Puerto Rican. It was dominated by Puerto Ricans. Dominicans were second in line. The blacks, and we did have a few white people still there from the older eras, I guess.
Yeah.
It happened right after the busing too, because I believe that was in '77. Like I remember that stuff on the news.
Yep.
And those times we had small outlets. We had like a Puerto Rican club called Club Hispano, where you go, you sign up for baseball, you get to play baseball in a baseball league. You pay $15, you get a uniform.
I remember that.
We have very small outlets. But what I'm trying to get to is that we don't have enough resources. We don't have enough outlets. In the 80s, we had the neighborhood house. We used to go to Jamaica Plain neighborhood house. That's when we played basketball. We get our breaking on. And we even had Flolos, the old Flolos, meet us there when we started uniting with them because we were two separate crews at the time. Then for recreational, we used to play in an empty schoolyard. You know what I mean? Like the Alice Mando. So we go play on concrete. So those resources are now gone. You can't play in schoolyards no more.
Right.
It's like trespassing.
Right.
There's no more neighborhood house. It's a loft now.
Right.
The Club Hispano is a new gentrification building now. You know what I mean? Everything's really different. And the 90s, when Lino took reign on the floor lords, he was a big community activist with Cindy, right? He was empowering the group, got us all back together. It was like Floor Lord 2.0.
Okay.
We started rehearsing and practicing at the Hannigan School, community spot. But we had our doors open every Tuesday and Thursday nights. We would be there from 5:30 to 9,
Mhm.
9.
and it will be 60 additional kids that were not in the group.
Yep.
And that was our thing.
Yeah.
We would practice on the stage. Everyone just watch and learn, or sit there do the homework. Like we just had kids there all the time.
Like an after
That
school
resource,
program.
that resource is dead now.
Yeah.
Now, the whole city is changing. It got more economical, more business suave. It got so difficult for the urban community to succeed in the neighborhoods that our training camp now is in Cambridge.
Right.
We can't even get our own spot in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got people coming from Boston to go to Cambridge to train with El Nino.
Really?
So hopefully with the changes upcoming, I don't see a lot of good. I see a lot of confusion because they're throwing that mass deportation thing out. They're getting very aggressive. They're throwing a tariff laws on all these countries where now buying something important, something's going to be even more expensive.
Correct.
So, and then the jobs here are ridiculous. You need to make minimum 100 grand.
Very good.
And then there's a residential issue. You can't even get housing.
Mhm.
So I think that from the 70s, from the race issues to now the economic issues to now the diversity and high end changes of these years, it just makes it more harder for the community of all races. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, mainly black and brown.
Mainly black and brown. And what's the answer to all that? More funding, more grants, more
We're gonna need each
recreation
other more.
spots.
Absolutely. As leaders, and we just
And we need better leaders.
honest.
yeah.
And when I'm seeing leaders, and it's not just in terms of somebody leading us. Let me give you an example. We did a bid this summer for a building called the Harriet Tubman Building. Right?
Yeah.
We came number 2. But that building, I worked hard for that. I swear to God I did. That building meant everything in the world to me. And the reason why it meant everything in the world to me, because it was in the center of the black community.
Absolutely.
Right? And it would have brought all the black, Hispanic, brown, and black community together. And we had
Exactly. And we would have.
and we had some serious plans, and it was spoiled. You know what I mean? And it hurt me so bad. You know what I mean? It just hurt so bad because I had so much plans. I wanted to give free things away to the community just to have them coming in there. I wanted these kids
Or even
to have
just have a
platform.
spot. Yeah, even just have a
Just
spot
have a
to
platform.
chill. Come in, do your homework.
Man,
Yes.
We'll help you with your homework. It doesn't even have to be dance.
Everything that these brothers is talking about is everything that we are striving for right here, right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get an epicenter where we have programs for adults that don't know anything about computers. We want to have programs for kids to be. It don't have to be dance. It don't have to be hip hop. It could be anything that you want it to be. You want it to be singing. You want it to be learning electronics. This man here has been in electronics ever since the 70s.
Yep.
I'm serious. I don't mean to put his business out there,
Yeah.
but
Have to get a job.
But this man has been working with computers since the 70s. Now we all know 80s and 70s computers was like clunkers.
Mhm.
This man's been working with that.
Yeah.
You can't tell him nothing about computers. That's why he's the major IT guy. Then you got programs, so he'll be an asset in that.
Absolutely.
So now we're looking at educational aspect where we want to educate adults, have adult program for adults that haven't gotten their GED, for adults that want to go and get college credits, for adults that want to help and better themselves, an area where parents can't necessarily leave their kids babysitting with someone. We want to have an area inside the building for that, to keep them occupied and someone responsible looking after these children. Security aspect throughout the entire building, not to mention all types of things for returning citizens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention all kind of, because I'm gonna be honest with you, there's so much that is missing in that aspect alone that this president will never come close to wanting to have. Okay?
Yeah.
Guys coming home,
Yeah.
they don't even know how to go get a driver's license.
That's right.
They don't know how to go get a social security
That's
card.
right.
They don't know which way to go get medical attention.
That's right.
Right? So my thing is, you're thrown out there and you're destined to fail because you're gonna be like, well, since I can't have this and I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that, I'm going back to what I know how to do.
But
So,
there's a lot of them that are coming home because that's the work that I do with the reentry community.
Yes,
male
I
I
and
just
female.
started one.
he just started.
And
Yeah.
these brothers that are coming home from behind the wall are so powerful.
Yeah.
And they're making sure that their
Mhm.
people are not falling
That's cool.
down the rabbit trap.
Oh,
My fear is the funding that they're getting
That's
that will be
Yeah.
cut.
That
So
that's what
the
that's what
problem.
I'm talking about, Cindy. Now I'm gonna throw my own personal business out there. I just came home from doing 10 and a half years.
Mhm.
Okay. Just came home doing 10 and a half years in federal prison.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
I was thrown out there to the wolves to fail.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Not you.
No.
Yeah.
Because of everything you just said, we prepared ourselves for this long, heinous, tedious journey
Mhm.
while in there. There's brothers that educated themselves through reading, educated themselves because we can't have computer access.
Mhm.
So the only thing we had was books and knowledge, right? So we read a lot. We focused on how do we want to proceed with our life? What do we want to do? Which avenue we want to take? There are guys that start. I'm gonna give an example. My boy Mike Curry. I was locked up with him. He started his reentry program in prison.
Yeah, a lot of them started in prison.
So I watched him cultivate it,
Mhm.
right? So when he cultivated something like that and made it manifest out there, that gave me the drive and
Exactly.
determination to get back into what I'm doing right here.
Yep.
Helping with the community, with
Yeah.
dance,
Yeah.
going back to the allegiance with my crew and everything like that, and focusing on making sure that our youth does not go down that lane.
that's right.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
he'll tell you, the moment I hit the ground, I was running.
Gone.
Mhm.
Gotta
I know.
stop. Yeah.
Gone.
Because I want our youth to be able to get back
Yeah.
to the happiness, the fun, the love, the
Yeah.
understanding of this particular dance,
Yeah.
of this right here, this
Yeah.
hip hop that we love so much because it gained so much negativity throughout the years and decades. And the stuff that I used to watch on TV and then I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? That's hip hop right now? All right. I'm not cool with that, but that's the way life is, right? I come out and I'm linked with this brother here. So now I have to understand from a youthful understanding as well as an OG. I can't just say, do it my way, do it my way, do it my way. I have to understand why they like it this way. I have to understand why they're moving this way. I have to understand that and respect it.
And respect it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that don't respect the youth in their ways and their values and their understanding. But you got to understand something. Where were you when you were supposed to teach them the right way?
Mhm.
Where were you when you were supposed to teach them the
Yeah.
right way from that?
Yeah.
So you can't get mad because they don't want to listen to you. You can't get mad because they don't want to understand your way. Because their way, your way may not work for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you have to say to yourself, okay, I wasn't present, but I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah. Now,
You see? There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference, man. And I'm going to tell you something. We lose a lot of that value because we don't, as parents, we don't get the opportunity to teach them because we're too busy worrying about ourselves. So then the kids are running amok and not understanding. And they're following either the negative way or their own way.
Mhm.
Now, I think we need to get back as parents to be like, hey, look, listen, this is what was fun for us. I see this is what's fun for you. Let me understand. Make me understand why you like it so much. Go to their little gatherings.
Yeah.
Go to their baseball games. Go to their rap concerts or whatever they like. That's your job as a parent to be able to make sure your kids happy.
Yeah.
There's parents that be like this, oh, I gotta go to work, I gotta go do this. Like I can't. But when can you? Like I just said, where were you when you wanted them to follow your footsteps? Where were you when you wanted to help them out? All I'm trying to say in a nutshell is sometimes you gotta shut up and listen. Seriously, sometimes you gotta shut up and listen because guess what? Your way ain't always the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that the hard way because I never took the time to shut up and listen. You know what I'm saying? So 10 and a half years, I shut up and I listened. And now I'm still listening.
It's powerful, man.
I'm
Thank-
still listening.
Thank you for sharing it. We got Cindy. And then we got
Right,
Matt.
Cindy, yes.
So, I mean, some of the things that I've been focusing on now is the phrase, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely.
So we've been here before.
Yeah, Lou.
Those of us at the table that were here during the 70s, we were thrown into this negativity, racism, division, all of it, particularly here in Boston.
Absolutely.
You know, with the mindset of the people that said they didn't want our black selves in those schools. There weren't that many Latinos here at that time in the 70s, mainly Puerto Rican. And if you lived in my neighborhood, then we were family because we're fighting against all of these other families.
Absolutely.
So, but some of that preparation has to be for us to be paying attention to what happens during these 4 years and then be able to teach this lesson to the future voters because they saw an illusion happen during the pandemic that this person was able to get all this money and pass it out to everybody, but that was not his doing.
That's right.
And a lot of us sold our souls for that $3,000. So it's about educating people. If you all remember how we ran Critical Breakdown, there was always a performance space inside, but outside you had me, Queen Viv, passing out condoms,
Yep.
registering people to vote, different agencies doing this, that. That's what you have to bring to your table because you're educating the future.
That's right.
You know, it was the kids that got Obama into office. They didn't vote, but they encouraged their parents.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of fear being evoked from this person that we're outnumbering them and we're going against the traditional families, even though there's more divorce in heterosexual families. So some of the things that I've been doing is like, oh, you don't like gay people? So now I'm doing disco events. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, so and exposing because this is like a 40 plus because I don't want to deal with any drama. 50 plus. I had a 91-year-old as the judge in our
91.
contest. Yeah, Smiler Haynes,
Yeah.
world famous fashion designer here in Boston. But it's all of those things like opening those doors and being the creators of that space that you want to be able to have and bring other people. Just like with DJ Bruno in house music. Like he had thug dudes coming in there and learning to love house music
Icon.
because this was the space that was provided.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about music conferences here in Boston or even on the East Coast because it always happened in Miami and, you know, Jack the Rapper and all of those type of things. If you build it, they will come. But when they come, make sure that you're educating people always. You're looking for leaders, you have to lead by example. You know, no one's ever seen my private life, none of this stuff, because that's not your business. You just be the person that you want people to emulate. You know, when I was one of the first female promoters, I didn't drink. I might drink at home, but not in the club because I don't want people looking at me like, oh, she's over there and talking to all these dudes and blah, blah, blah. None of that. You have to
Lead by example.
lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so all of these changes that are coming, he's already told us. I mean, you saw 8 Mile. He told you all the things that he was going to do. So just start getting ready for that. You know, in the 70s, we knocked on a neighbor's door. Can we borrow a cup of sugar? That's where we're going. That's why I'm working on a food pantry. And this was before the election. Because I'm staying ready. Because there's going to be a lot more hungry people with all of these things that are happening. And it's hard for those of us that do this work for the love, because we're always putting our money in, but it's time for institutions to join us.
I agree.
You know, you have the conversation with the community centers and say, we need to have these talent shows at all of you. This is me. I've talked to them about this 10 years ago. I'm still waiting for it to happen. And let the floor lords run some programming out of there.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't oftentimes listen to us, but our city is what it is because of the work that we've done. You know, the girls that used to run Beantown Bounce.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
remember
was,
that.
you know, providing technical support to them. Again, putting in money,
At Madison.
their own money. And then later, Reggie Lewis Center.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, at this point in my life, I need to be putting money towards my retirement. I'm retiring in 7 years. I can't be putting on these big $20,000 events anymore.
Right.
So
Institutions.
it has to be, you know, and we will do the work. It's just we can't keep spending our own money.
That's right.
Thankfully, when you took over, you said, learning from Lino, we need to get paid for this. But he's from the generation I'm from.
Yeah.
We need to be able to do this for our people because this is missing. No, you need to pay us to do this.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that I didn't learn the word no until I was 50. You all came into the world not playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful.
Right.
You had
So-
to watch the headaches that you guys had.
Exactly. Exactly. And when I mentor people, I say, I want you to cheat off of our homework.
That's right.
Don't go through the things that we went through.
Please don't.
But all of these things that he's trying is only to get votes. I'm a Gemini. I know exactly what he's thinking. His birthday is the day after me. He's not about any of the stuff that he's saying. It's all about winning for him. I don't like to claim him, but he lives in his evil side. And so now that we've seen these are the categories, what are we going to do to address that that's going to impact us? Stay ready.
Man. All right. So in line with the question, I'm going to give my wishful thinking opinion and then some facts. Okay. First of all, I want to send a shout out to Dr. Smitty. He may rest his peace. The founder of the National Center for Race Amity. My wishful thinking opinion: if the world could come together like the Floor Lords did,
Amen.
it'd be a beautiful place. Okay. So on that note, that's my wishful thinking opinion. The fact is, it's a war against ignorance.
Yes.
Ignorance, okay?
Yes.
The one word I didn't hear was humanity. Right? Cindy, you said you're a Gemini, right? Okay. We're all Geminis in this way. We all have two sides. It's our primary side, which is, first of all, we're all human beings. Okay. Then our second side is I'm African American, is part Dominican, Puerto Rican. It goes into cultures. Okay. So we're all Geminis. We're going to have two sides. We need to really get to the first person, the human factor, to combat ignorance.
Okay.
Okay. And that's coming from wisdom that my mama prays on.
We're all one
I
race.
receive that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Receive that.
We're all one race. The
We're all
human
one race.
race.
Human race
Absolutely.
first.
Yes.
Our primary person.
Yes.
Gemini, the second person was separating us.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of get back to
Yeah.
the first person.
Absolutely.
That's all I
agree
have.
with that
Well
100%.
That's all I
Here's
have.
what we're going to do.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, this is it.
Yes, sir.
30 seconds or less.
Okay.
Give your final shout out. Give your final piece of encouragement.
Okay.
Give your final word of wisdom. But it got to be 30 seconds or less. All right. 30 seconds. Oh, think about it. Think about it. Put it on the tip of your tongue. 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds. Final word.
Ladies
Go with
first.
you
Everybody set it off.
Final word is a shout out to all the people that got me here because I didn't do it alone. Can't name everybody because I will forget people, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And the words of wisdom are to keep on keeping on.
Powerful.
Really quick, I'd like to give a shout out to our fallen individuals and our crew. First and foremost, Snap One. Second of all, my man Speedy, Noli, B-Boy Float, Domino Kid, hold on, let me give you somebody. Etho, Cali,
Ricky.
Oh man.
You said no.
I said Noli, yeah. If I forgot you, brother.
Speedy?
I said Speedy, yeah.
Oh, you said Speedy.
Brother, if I've forgotten anybody, please, by all means, please forgive me.
We love you.
We love you to death. Now, with that being said, I would like to say this. Focus on your life. Focus on longevity, because we are not promised tomorrow. And I will say this right here, right now. Not everyone in here is promised to have freedom.
Yeah.
It's a privilege. It is not, it is not something that you're supposed to have. It's something that you're supposed to fight for. And that way, you'll always respect it, honor it, keep it.
Powerful. Peace.
Shout out to my brother Lefty. He was one of the original B-boys in my first crew, and also he was a Flow Lord member. Shout out to my brother Lefty. For words of wisdom, I would say, spread more love, knowledge, understanding. Patience is a big deal. People are not patient no more. And for individually focus is health. There's a lot of health issues, a lot of new health things coming up, a lot of different things are happening. And Medicare, Mass Health, that stuff is ridiculously healthy. I mean, expensive. And a lot of people can't even get to it. So people need to wise up on their health benefits and their knowledge. And unity. Thank peace.
Okay. All right. I'd just like to give thanks to God. It's because of him all things are possible. If you can conceive something, you can achieve it. Anything is possible.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Amen. Yeah. I want to say thanks to God. Thank you to my crew. Thank you to Berkeley. And Africana Studies. But words of wisdom, just say try to keep a positive mind state. Just like all they said, try to stay healthy, keep your mind healthy, keep your body healthy. And let's try to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. It's going to be a tough 4 years.
Yes, it is.
But we can do it. We're strong people. We've done been through a lot. And so, this 4 years doesn't scare me. It's just going to make me go harder. That's my mindset. And I hope everybody else feels that same way.
How do I do?
Most open. I would like to give a shout out to life and things that life creates, which means everything in a whole. You know what I mean? To Berkeley, to you, Cindy Diggs, to the Floor Lords, to all anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody creating positive vibes and creating life and sustaining life. And my last words of wisdom is just be blessed, and stay blessed. And that's all we can do.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We got the Floor Lords here. We got Cindy D's here. I love y'all.
You
Thank you.
What's your final words?
Love.
Love to the world.
That's what we need. Love.
I have a question proposed to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
These last 2 years have been incredible, where you have brought Roxanne Shante, Flavor Flav, NOG up onto the forefront. One of my mentors, Prince. Man, listen, me and him go back, and he'll tell you why. But that's the thing. Like, you started off with that. You've graced us with Cindy Diggs, Floor Lords, and Kid and Play. Brothers, we love y'all too. And I would like to know what number 3 is like. I'm gonna be here no matter what.
On my way out.
I'll be here no matter what.
Turn the camera off.
No one gets a sneak peek of that. Yeah.
Cooking.
I would like to say this before you answer your question.
Yeah.
I want to throw at least 3 nominations in there
right
off the bat. I want to throw 3 in there off the bat. I want Rusty in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I agree.
I want Billy and Bobby.
I
in there.
knew it. Yeah, I knew you. I was going to say
I'm
it.
serious. The Funk Effects.
Funk
Actually,
Effects.
I want them in there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And last but not least, musically, this one is really going to throw y'all way off somewhere, but I don't care because this is from my neighborhood. I want RSO in there.
Oh, okay. RSO.
I can
Okay.
do that.
I'm not playing.
Okay.
I do.
Give me
I
3.
wanna throw
Give me 3.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go around. Let's go around. We here.
So I'll
Yeah.
throw in the Johnson crew, right?
Ooh,
Ah!
that's a classic.
That's a good one.
And they're still around.
They're
That's
still
beautiful.
around.
Three more. 2 more. So that will be 1, and that will be acrobatic.
Yep.
Ooh, wait.
Okay, I got that one. Boom.
Yeah,
One
so-
more, one more,
right.
one more. Let me throw in.
That acrobatic was good though.
Oh man,
I ain't gonna hold it.
Trilogy. I mean,
He named me Mother Hip Hop.
He's want to name you that? No, he didn't.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, nice. I don't got a third one.
You don't have an
You
old.
can repeat if you want
I
to.
can't.
Oh.
And then it would definitely be the Wonder Twins. Then.
Okay.
Hold on. We're talking about dance. Can I throw one in? Can I throw one in there?
You're greedy.
Okay, no, I'm gonna throw it in there.
Just a little bit.
Listen. Tough rhythm dancers, man.
Okay.
Oh,
Out of
Okay.
Roxbury.
Okay.
okay.
We used to battle them too.
Okay.
Wow.
That's his name is Andre. He's from down near Leno's way. They were one of the nastiest hip hop groups in the beginning
Okay.
of hip hop from Roxbury, Boston. Keep
Okay.
going.
Give me 3.
Okay, is it solely
I'm just throwing it. I'm just throwing all kinds in there. But go ahead.
right bound to just hip hop or
Yes.
Yeah, for the hip hop
Hip
Hall of
Hop Hall of
Fame.
Fame,
Yeah.
yes.
Top Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
okay, all right. No, because
Yes.
I have some things on my mind.
Cool, we show you.
But yeah, well, I think Tron, you covered it.
Also, are we sticking to Boston
If
only?
it's Boston,
No, you can open it up.
No, because
Well, I mean-
Yeah.
Well, okay, if it's beyond Boston,
Yeah.
I mean, this would be like
Wow.
obvious, which would be like
Well-
Gangstar, but I guess
Well,
right.
he was no longer with
but
us.
you
still got Smitty.
But
You got Smitty and you got
Gangstar,
yeah,
Static Selector, I'll throw his
he's
name in
not-
there.
That's a good. One.
Okay. That's a
That's
good
a very good one.
I mean, he's killing it right now.
That's a good
He's
one.
from the city,
Yo.
you know.
You got Smitty and Big
Terminology.
Shug still.
Mhm.
Yep. So that would be an easy one right there.
So
RSO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 3.
I got
You
I
guys
gotta go
cover
with Wonder Twins.
It's a must.
And this right here is probably the ultimate. Now, I agree with you with RSO. I agree with you with the Funk Effects. But my last but not least would be Shannon.
Wow, you wish.
Shannon is what we used to dance to.
Give me
That's
the
right.
name.
That
Oh,
got
okay.
That's
going.
what Cisco's talking
She
about.
changed
Shannon.
the culture.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I mean? That would be the ultimate.
That is a good one.
So yeah, I definitely need to throw 3 in there.
Put your 3s in.
I'm gonna go a little left, right?
Mhm.
Shout out to Ice-T.
Okay.
That's one.
Your cat, Tracy.
Right, Tracy.
Absolutely.
Divine Styler.
Oh,
Absolutely.
interesting. Okay.
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 And believe it or not, Ultramagnetic.
Oh!
Okay.
Yo,
OG.
that's
Okay.
a hot one
Okay.
right there.
All right,
That-
so I went out there now.
That was good. That was
Yo,
all
right.
Okay.
That was good.
That
You gonna say you
Ultramagnetic's
get 3.
classic.
You can
You said no.
I never choose.
Okay.
I'm choosing.
But you got one
Hip
favorite.
hop, No, I can't do
You
it.
got too many
Okay.
But I
babies to
agree
take.
with
Yeah.
Everybody.
ones that you
Okay.
said, but
All right.
So I'm not gonna answer your question directly,
That's
please
fine.
don't.
right?
That's
Right.
fine.
But I'm gonna say that one, you all have inspired some new thinking,
Right.
and you confirmed where I think we were headed.
Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna go that
That
way.
answers a little
But
bit.
I'm at the roll the video back because I got some research to do.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I like
but
that.
at least 2 entities that y'all named
Right.
were way in the front
top
of the
of the
head.
list.
Yeah, no question about that.
I ain't gonna lie, I like that Shannon one. And I like that Ultramagnetic.
Yeah, the Shannon one caught me off guard.
Right.
Yeah.
The Ultramagnetic takes me way back.
Way
So I like
back.
y'all.
One of my
Y'all
favorite
stretching my
groups,
thinking
too.
now. That's good. That's a good thing.
Pioneers.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
And listen,
Definitely, yeah.
listen. For all of y'all, anytime y'all come up with them ideas like that,
Okay.
pop me a note.
I got you.
Oh, I'm
That's
Because
easy.
y'all are in the Hall of Fame.
I need a card.
So y'all should be able to.
I need a.
I
Thank you.
got you.
I can
got
roll a billion
I
of them.
got you.
A billion of them. Yes.
Uh-oh.
He just wants to get on the
He's getting
staff.
ready to start going to space.
I might have to get on the staff. Be like, hey, what about this guy?
Get on the
He's
staff.
at the door.
All right, I'm gonna
man.
get y'all home, man. Thank y'all for this.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you,
Tracy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Joy told us Tracy got something for us.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah.
Is the camera off?
Is the camera off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop.
Yo,
I'll say my picks now.
I say
Now that
this,
the
man.
camera's off.
I say this, man.